All right, this one's gonna be quick since there's only 2 games this week and then Super Bowl in 2 weeks. I will try to stream both. If they're right after one another, I don't know if I will. If they're nighttime, might have to skip out for like dinner and whatnot. But if it's like a noon and then like 5 or 6 or whatever, I could try to do both. I haven't looked. I just know they're both on Sunday. But I'd like to because I want to see this Titans and Chiefs game too, especially after the Titans upset Baltimore. They beat the Patriots. They were underdogs. They're still underdogs this whole year. And then obviously on the other side, you have what was it 4 touchdowns in the second quarter alone, and then they ended up getting like 51 points or something. I know, was it 48? I think it was 48. By the end of it. So Chiefs defense or Chiefs offense is dangerous. Tennessee's offense is dangerous. Tennessee's defense isn't that bad. Kansas City's defense has gotten a lot better. They've upgraded a lot of players, signed a lot of new players in the middle of the year. So that's gonna be a good game. And then same with the Packers and Niners. I still think the Niners defense is probably the best in the league. I think they've been better than the Raiders than the Ravens. Offense, they're good and they have a strong running game, but I think the weakest point is Garoppolo on the offense. So I think they're still a top 5. And in the NFL, obviously there's only 4 this week, so you can't really go off of this week because they're probably number 1. That Chiefs offense, though. That Chiefs offense might be a little better. It's going to be a good Sunday. This is going to be really good games. Obviously, Packers got blown out last time they were in San Francisco. I don't think the Titans and Chiefs played this year. I could be wrong, but I don't think they did. So this is going to be the first time matchup for this year. It feels like the playoffs. I mean, wild card weekend, except for that Seahawks and Eagles, that was a good weekend. Divisional was a good weekend. And now this is shaping up to be probably one of my favorite NFC NFL championships in a while. It just feels so strong, and it feels like all 4 teams could win. People are gonna doubt the Titans. People are going to doubt the Packers, but they can still win. They can still make it to the playoff or the Super Bowl. We could have a Titans and Packers Super Bowl. You never know. We could have a Super Bowl 1 rematch. I don't know if it's true, but I think last time the Chiefs were in the playoffs was that Super Bowl 4. I don't know if that's true though. But I heard that today. When I'm recording this. San Francisco, what was it, like 5 years ago with Colin Kaepernick? Something like that. They were really good. So, besides the Chiefs, I guess when was the last time Tennessee was in the Super Bowl? I don't even know that. It's probably might have been 20 years, a little more than that. So, you have 2 recent Super Bowl contenders that have played in the Super Bowl, been contenders. You have teams that kind of rebuilt and now they're ready for the Super Bowl again, even though they haven't been there in a while. So I'm excited. I'm ready. So this is a long way to get into picks, but I just kind of want to, it's a lot of hype. This is a really strong NFL championship year. And not that, the last 5-6 years haven't been, but this feels like it's, up there as, one of the maybe top 10 all time for Final Four. So this is the way I feel. Obviously, I don't have the sheet in front of me. I don't have, could look it up on my phone, but it'd take too long for every NFL championship. But that's how I feel. I think it's gonna hold up to the hype, and it'll be good. So I'll start AFC because that's the first game, I believe. I believe it's the first game. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know the times. I just I know they're both on Sunday. So but I believe Tennessee and Kansas City are first. Obviously, Tennessee is the 6th seed, so they're going to head over to Kansas City. And obviously the Chiefs are the favorite here. Because you can never doubt Derrick Henry, especially after last week where they went and beat up the Ravens. And I think the Ravens probably the number one, overall in the NFL. I think they're better than the 49ers. And that when they played, was that in Baltimore? Obviously the conditions weren't that good, so you didn't have a dry field and whatnot. But and because Ravens won by a field goal, but I think that overall the Ravens are better than the 49ers. But Tennessee, Derrick Henry is carrying them. Well, Ryan Tannehill's doing his part too, but Derrick Henry he's a monster truck. So I'm gonna go with Kansas City here, but after beating the Patriots, after beating the Ravens, I would not be shocked if they end up winning this game by a ground game, keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field. Tiring out that defense. So I can definitely see Tennessee winning, but Kansas City's a second quarter team, and obviously, if you haven't watched the game, 28 points alone in the second quarter. After getting blown out 24-0 in the first quarter, and then took 10 minutes in total to get 28 points. They can strike fast. They're literally the Viper of the NFL. That's what they are. They strike fast, they strike quick, they strike hard. Even though Vipers don't really strike hard, but you know what I mean. So, but yep. So Kansas City is my pick, but I would not be shocked if the Titans upset. So we'll move into the Packers head to San Francisco again for the second time this year, football year, because it's now a new decade, new year, whatever. Second time in the football season that they head to Cali. Third time, but to San Francisco. Anyway, you never doubt Aaron Rodgers. You give him the ball last, like you do against Seattle, and he will make it pay. And that was a first down. That line was about 2 inches after the first down line. So Jimmy Graham did have a first down there. There's a whole bunch of proof if you don't believe it. But you got the best defense left of the 4 teams, and it's gonna be a struggle because Adams is your number one, and you have really tough defense. Richard Sherman is probably one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I think Jalen Ramsey's gone downhill since going to the Rams, so I don't consider him the best. I think Richard Sherman's probably the best in the league right now. I did consider Jalen Ramsey the best there for a while until he traded, and then he's been kind of quiet for the most part for the Rams. Obviously, a couple moments here and there, but Richard Sherman's amazing. He's still got it. That whole team is really young too. So this is going to be a team that the NFC is going to have to compete against in the playoffs for 4 or 5 years here. Still. So San Francisco has a couple years here where they can make a couple Super Bowls, and it's gonna be tough. this is a harder game to pick than Kansas City and the Titans because I mean I feel like it's gonna be way closer. I feel like it's gonna be a field goal game by the end of it. So winner is gonna kick a field goal. It's gonna be a 3-point game at the end. Um, uh, I don't. I mean, if you look on paper, San Francisco has this in the book, or has this in the bag, 100%. But there was someone on Twitter that said it's a week to week game. I think was it Aaron Nagler? I don't know. Whatever. It was someone that an analyst basically said that, and it really shows. I mean, the Titans really show that. So I don't want to go against my Packers, but I don't know if they can beat the 49ers here. Yes, the defense has gotten way better since week 12 was it? Something like that. So it's been like 2 months here, probably closer to 3 months. And, offense, they're clicking. They, who was out? Was it Balaga was out? And then for the Packers, and then I think, is it D Ford came back for San Francisco? Or was it It might have been Alexander. Maybe that's... one of the two came back. So, it's a complete 49ers team versus a complete Packers team here. You know what? You see, this one's way tougher. I'm going to go 49ers by 2 points in the end here. It's hard to pick, especially because I'm a Packer fan. But, I don't want to be biased here and just go, oh, yeah, we're going to go Packers every week. Because did I pick Seattle last week? I might not have. I don't remember what I picked. I'll have to go back and look. But, in a tough game like this, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the Vikings shocked the world beating the Saints, and then they were, looked like they were going to stay with the 49ers, and then the 49ers just ended up blowing them out in the second half of the game. Obviously, Packers have beaten the Vikings twice, and, the second time pretty convincingly. So, it's hard to hold the bar at the Vikings when, both the 49ers and the Packers have kind of blown them out. So I could see this going either way. It's going to be real tight. Packers are a touchdown underdog, 7-point underdog here. I think it's going to be, 1, 2, or 3 point game at the end. Ground pound for the Packers. There's ways to beat that defense. If you look at Arizona, almost did it twice. They kept it to a field goal game at the end. I think the first time they lost because of a missed field goal. Seattle's obviously beaten them once, and then they came up an inch short, at home, but they beat them out in California. Ravens obviously beat them. Now, I don't put a lot of stock into that because it was a rainy game and the field conditions weren't that good, especially because I don't put a lot of stock into that Washington-San Francisco game because it was like a monsoon or something, and the score was 9-0 at the end. So I don't put a lot of stock into games like that. And then you have the Saints duking it out in New Orleans, and that came down to basically the last play of the game too. So, they lost to it by a field goal. So, second half of the season, it's been 3-point, 4-point game at the end for the 49ers. So, obviously they didn't have. I think it was D Ford. I'm gonna say it's D Ford. if it's Alexander or whatever, sorry, I forget, but I'm pretty sure it's D Ford at the end. But I think it's gonna be real tight. Um, it's gonna be really competitive. It's gonna be a lot better than last time. Because the NFL probably got really embarrassed after they put the Packers Niners on prime time. They shifted it to prime time, and then a blowout happened. So you can't predict that, and that's why they didn't shift the Ravens and 49ers is because they didn't want that to happen. I know I saw people complain about that, but it's like, what happens if you have another blowout again? Then what do you do? So that makes them look really stupid if they do that. So again, picks are Kansas City and San Francisco. Both are going to be within 3-point games. San Francisco Packers, especially. I want the Packers to win, but my prediction is going to be 49ers because of what happened earlier this year. Because Packers don't always play that best in Cali. Look at the Chargers. They're going to keep it close, though. And if you have it within 3 points in the second half, in the fourth quarter, I think you can win it. But if it's a 17-point game in the fourth quarter, I think that you're pretty much done. Obviously, comebacks aren't unheard of. Again, Houston and Kansas City, it's not unheard of. But I don't know if the Packers have it in them to do a 17-point comeback in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. This is a lot longer than I wanted to. I wanted to explain a little bit, kind of before I got into the picks. So like, subscribe, and share. On the road to 100 here. We'll be streaming maybe both games. We'll see. And I'm going to get out of here. Peace.